welcome again to another one of the neighborhood walkarounds that I wanted to do, which is simple, straightforward, while I work on the more ambitious stuff that gives you an idea of why I love Kyoto so much. And the last one was just my neighborhood. This area that we're in now, I love it for a number of reasons, and they keep increasing, but one of the first is that it provides you with this like really personal, private part of the river to enjoy if you want to walk along it for like short portions. Neighborhood little shrine, and then it would look backwards to the bridge. It's probably the bridge that I cross over most frequently, always going back and forth, and let alone where you can walk. We'll walk along back here at whatever point, but it was kind of the history that makes it really, really interesting. And the history was taught to me by Drew, my buddy who introduced me to it, who's now my employer, where he said that what's really cool about this district is just how beautiful it is, crossed with that this used to be an old pleasure district in Kyoto. And there are some super interesting buildings that were obviously where people entertained at that time. And now, let's walk as we talk, and I'll show off bits of the canal. The canal is like amazing here. At that time, it was booming. That was a big part of the society here. But since then, when people are looking to create businesses, when people want to have new homes, somewhere like this, because of that past reputation, rich though it may be, is not a place that people want to purchase things or to set up life or whatever. But for that reason, people have missed out on how incredible it really is to be here. And there are a few who have not. Like, just let me turn this around. This is a slice of your view all the way along here. Just these incredible hydrangea, beautiful grown-up trees, and of course something I'm always so fond of, the running water. Chill you out. There is, of course, these businesses who've not been afraid to take advantage of it, and people who live here, and it's definitely this kind of place that could be up and coming, because what really is that history? Yes, it happened, and maybe it's something negative. I don't even necessarily perceive it as that, but that's gone now. And what remains is not that history, but just how incredible it is here. This canal that you walk along, the immediate proximity, and a very slim number of rows of houses over to the river again is really, really cool. So I was telling you guys about how this place, cool though it may be, because it's a little less desirable as a result of the history, you don't have a lot of businesses. Here is one of the cool businesses that you have. It's a restaurant on the first floor. I've not actually gone here, but it looks really cool. And then on the second floor, they have a tattoo parlor. How sweet is that? There's not a lot of them, and you know, with the tattoo culture being very taboo in Japan, when you see something like this, it's definitely of a new generation where people are getting more comfortable with the idea of tattoos. Finally, I got to talk about my favorite building in this whole district here. So I didn't know much about this aside from its incredibly Ghibli-esque and the sort of architecture, but my friend, when I walked by, told me that this is one of the pleasure district buildings, and he told me about some of the interesting features of it. Specifically that along this canal that we're beside here, just above on the second floor, there's a sort of outcrop terrace. Not a lot of room, but enough room for the lady hostesses to sit out on and fan themselves and call down to the passerbys as they went by down below, and then invite them into the establishment so they would spend all their money there in the evening. And you really can feel, as you stand here, you look at the building, you look at the canal, you can imagine very vividly what that would look like. I have many passions in life, many. But in this neighborhood, I get to fulfill one of my top most loved, and that is constantly going to sentos or onsens. Sentos are more the sort of like hole in the wall, and this one that you see behind me here, we'll do it like this. It's pretty informal, so I can't guarantee B-roll every time, but this guy behind me here is awesome. It's got this mosaic wall kind of art on the inside. Sauna itself, the hot sauna, not too hot, sort of forgiving. But here, this one, its number one point, why it's so awesome, is that the actual cold bath is pure ice, which is key to having a good hot-cold experience when you go to one of these. And again, I'm just realizing now that it's similar to the place we just passed. They have a tattoo parlor upstairs, and the guy who works there, he's got like a really cool story. I've been learning about him. He does like super traditional and even like traditional style of doing the tattoo, which is more painful, but he also taught himself, or was learning. He lived in San Francisco, so he has a real like international appreciation of the art. And so if you want to get a cool tattoo in Japan, you can come to this place, and he is very, very, very talented. I have a lot of dreams. I dream big, I dream a lot, and one of them would be to purchase something in this neighborhood, and to purchase something that you would restore. Definitely. I don't think I'd want one of the super new buildings. I think there's a lot that could be done. Let's go this way. This is a really cool building. Check out all that charcoal black. This feels like an older building that they've done an incredible job restoring and bringing back up. This is the sort of thing that I would want to do. I'd want to stay away from, now as another example, a place like this where they've just over-modernized. It's where you're going to take away so much of what makes it so charming to be in Kyoto. When you go for these hyper-modern buildings, you could keep the old structures. This is really cool. I'll flip the camera around here. These little neighborhood shrines, sometimes these are for children's safety, or they're little homes for gods, basically. And it just depends what god ends up there. I don't know. I don't know all the different ones. There are many. Shinto has, if it were a Shinto little shrine, I think they actually have like millions, which is crazy to think of. But yeah, my one of the old teachers, Yoshida Sensei, he was telling me about that. He's like, oh yeah, there's so many. It's cool. When I go for these walks like we're doing right now, I've been through this neighborhood many times. I've never seen this art mural on the side of this building here. And this is super cool. All of these pastels. Yeah, just always discovering stuff like this when you go for little walks in your neighborhood that you may not have seen otherwise. Yeah, I can try and flip it around. I'll get out of the way. Can't always be me in front of the camera. I want to show you guys some cool stuff. This is kind of a river scene with beautiful trees, perhaps in spring. It's like the part that I've explored is kind of minimal. It's only this like one little section that I usually like to go. If I haven't mentioned it already, if you guys enjoy videos like this, please do like, subscribe, maybe consider hitting that bell notification and saying, give me all the notifications so I can see whenever one of these sweet neighborhoods is getting shown off. It would mean the world to me. So behind me here is kind of one of these monstrosities. It even looks that way. Hotel Live Max. And it's this massive gray personality-less building that likely destroyed some sort of gorgeous traditional structure that had hundreds of years of history to it. I often say when I see this kind of thing, and I see it in my day-to-day life, that I must always remind myself, never get used to this, always remember, always realize how utterly gorgeous it is, because that's the problem with wealth. You get used to it, and then it takes more and more to impress you, to care about anything, and that's a tragedy. You want to reduce what you need to be impressed and to appreciate your surroundings. So amazing. Now I've returned to my sweet bike that my friend lent to me, or gave me, I guess. He's a very generous man. I like to doing this because it's an easy way for me to kind of show you the beauty of Japan and the areas that I'm occupying now, but also it's sort of low impact, low effort. I don't have to worry that this is going to take me a million years to edit and get out there for you. Please do make sure to let me know in the comments if you are enjoying this, because it's an affirmation, a confirmation that I'm going in the right direction when I'm working on the more complex videos, that doing something like this is worth the time. This is a lot of fun, guys. I hope you're doing well. Take care out there. Catch you in the next video. I'm in the course of producing some more max effort ones. But it's cool, as I say, to be able to do these in the interim. Be safe. Take care.